Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Chris coming at you with another episode to the Beautiful Struggle podcast. And this is episode number 43. And if you guys are watching this on YouTube, you probably noticed something a little different about me. And no, I'm not wearing a hat. And yes, I did get a haircut. I haven't got a haircut in about 2 whole months, which is crazy. I don't ever go that long without getting a haircut. Decided to try something a little new and different. So yeah, I'm feeling good, feeling great. And with that being said, if this is your first time tuning into the Beautiful Struggle podcast, this is a personal development podcast and it's also a business podcast. And my goal and my objective for this podcast is to simply empower you guys to live the life that you truly deserve. And so my regular listeners already know that I drop a new episode every single Monday. So if you guys want to tune in and you guys want to join the ride, please do so. Like I said, new episode drops every single Monday. Start your week off with some positivity and with some encouragement. And if you guys are feeling like you guys want a little bit more from the Beautiful Struggle podcast, a little bit more than just once a week, go ahead and follow us on Instagram. The handle is @BeautifulStrugglePodcast. We release daily content every single day, encouragement, update, inspiration, things of that nature. So with all that out the way, I hope you guys are doing really well. Hope you guys are doing better in this quarantine. A lot of people I've been talking to, they say they're getting used to this time, which is understandable. I've actually got used to a couple of things during this time. And a lot of things are starting to open back up depending on where you're at. I heard Atlanta is opened up fully. I was just reading in the LA Times that actually LA County is going to be shut down for another 3 months, which is crazy. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how the people in LA deal with that. I'm really interested to see, how that turns out. But we just got to understand that, when the government, says things like that and they enforce things like that they're trying their best to control the virus. And you just have to know that if they let everybody free, they let everybody go now, then it could be madness. It could be chaos. We could see another huge spike with the coronavirus, and it could lead to us having to go back to being quarantined. I'm not saying one way is right or wrong, but we just have to be mindful for how the government is running things. I know they're trying, and I know we're trying to get out of this quarantine. But let's just be mindful and let's always look at the both sides of what's going on for sure. And that's all I have to say about that. But with that being said, something that I really wanted to talk to you guys about today is something that I've been focusing a lot on within the last couple weeks. And it's something small, but it's also something big. I've been focusing on what I've been consuming. And so when people think of consumption, they think of food, which is perfectly fine. And I'm sure I've talked about, this concept before in my podcast, one of the earlier episodes. Maybe I touched upon it a little bit, but I definitely want to crack it open today. And I'm always looking for new ways to learn, looking for new ways to improve. And there's always another level of improvement that you can go through in your life. So I've definitely been more mindful of what I've been consuming and what my body has been intaking. And all of this will make a lot of sense. So just bear with me. Stay tuned in. And I'll even give you guys, and I'll break down exactly what I'm doing and give you guys practical advice of how you guys can do what I'm about to talk about as well. So the first thing that I've really been watching what I've been consuming is, of course, my diet, my nutrition, and the way that I've been eating. I've really been trying to focus on taking that to the next level, taking it to a new height. I'm trying to educate myself as much as possible on just natural ways to eat, natural ways to heal the body, and just natural ways to make the body feel good and function to its fullest capability. Also been, you can ask my wife, we've been investing a lot more into new products, into new foods, and even new liquids to intake into our body, just to improve on our health, especially with this whole coronavirus. I've always been kind of a health nut. But with this virus, it's just like, man, you never know what can just take you out. So I want to make sure I'm doing my part and educating my family, educating my people around me on, just some natural ways to heal yourself and to make your body feel good. And when I talk about intake, I'm not just talking about food, which is the first thing that comes to a lot of people's mind. I'm also talking about media. I'm talking about social media. I'm talking about news, different news outlets, and you can throw in music in there as well. If you're consuming negativity, it'll literally alter the way you think, and it'll alter your thought process, and it'll alter the way that you maneuver every single day. And if you don't believe this, I really encourage you guys to spend more time and pay attention to the things that you are consuming. Like I said, me lately, I've been looking at a lot lately of what triggers me. What are the things that trigger me to think negative? What are the things that trigger me to want to splurge and spend money when I really don't need to be spending money? What are some things that trigger me to get distracted? I really believe that observing these triggers early enough, and if we can eliminate them before we consume them, they can really change our life and really change how we look at things, right? So a couple things that I've been doing, and again, bear with me, it's all going to come together at the end. A couple of the things that I've been doing to really consume the right things and really get my mind working in the right way is like, the first thing I do in the morning for an hour is I go outside on my little balcony. I drink my little tea, and I spend at least an hour of my time with God. I do some meditation. I read the Bible. I definitely pray. And this really helped me get focused. It helped me get on the right track. It helped me set the standard and set the tone for my day. And then after that, wifey comes into the living room, or she may come outside with me, and we do a daily marriage devotional, which is something else I highly suggest for married couples out there as well. This is also really good for us because we're spending quality time together, and we're learning more and more about each other each day. We're asking each other questions, and we're challenging each other in different scenarios. Something else that I also been doing is, we're all allocating time to work. If you're working from home, if you have that, if you're fortunate enough to do that, yeah, I'm going to work. I work a lot out of the day, but I also wanted to allocate time to exercise my brain, doing things like reading books. This book right here is, I'm in the middle of it. It's called Between the World and Me. Very good book. It's something you guys should definitely check out. I won't say much. I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to say too much about it, but you definitely check this book out. Great author. So just exercising my brain, getting my brain consistently working, exercising my body. You guys already know I'm into fitness big time. So going outside and just doing different exercises, running, push-up. You guys already know that, just getting my body moving in the right way and consuming the right things. This is where I'm trying to go with it. It's very easy to consume the wrong things. And when you consume the wrong things, it can distract you from your daily goals. And trust me, this has happened to me a lot. A lot of people don't realize, but what you consume becomes who you are. It's sort of like you are what you eat. And it's totally true. I believe that 1,000%, because if you consume junk, if you listen to junk, if you eat junk, guess what you're going to put out? You're going to put out junk into the world, right? And the junk you watch, the junk you listen to, the junk you eat has a massive impact on yourself. And trust me, like I said, I've been through this myself. I've been through situations where, I'm listening to music, and if you guys know me, you guys know I'm a huge hip hop head. I love hip hop, but I know for myself that certain artists I can't sit here and listen to all day when they're talking about shooting, killing, drinking lean, and popping this and that. I can't do that. It's going to negatively affect my day. It just is. Sometimes that might put me in a funk or in a mood where I don't want to do things. I just want to sit around and be lazy, and that's not who I am. That's not what I want to be. And I forgot the name of the book. and I have to get it for you guys. But inside the book, I'll never forget the story it told. It told a story of a girl that lived with a verbally abusive mom. And so, again, I'll never forget the story. It's absolutely impactful. Pay attention. So the girl, she's living with her mom that's verbally abusive. But something that the girl loves to do every single day is she loves to turn some music on. She likes to crank up the music, and she loves to sing. She just loves to sing for hours and hours. And she believed that she was good at it. The little girl really believed in herself that she was a good singer. And it really got to a point where the mother got so annoyed with her turning up the music and singing and being joyful that she would go into the room and she would just go off on her, go bananas on her, tell her that she's nothing and she can't sing and it doesn't sound good, it sounds terrible, and really go off on her daughter. And it got to a point where the girl believed her mom more than she believed in herself. And the craziest part is the little girl never, ever sang again in her life because she believed that she couldn't sing. She unfortunately consumed the energy and the words that her mom was putting towards her, and she just literally never sang again, which is, it happens to a lot of us. It may be happening to you right now, right? I'll always give a huge shout out to Eric Thomas, man, and one day I'm going to thank him for changing my mindset and thank him for changing my life, because when I was growing up in Sacramento, California, a lot of people don't know this, I didn't know a different way out. I honestly didn't. If you guys knew me when I was like 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, you guys knew me as the guy that loved to play basketball. And I really believe that was my only way out. That was my only way out to take care of my family. That was the only way out for me to be successful, is to play basketball, sports. I didn't know any better. I knew for damn sure that I didn't want to go the route that everybody else was going, with drug dealing and doing a bunch of illegal activities. I didn't want to go down that route. And I didn't know any better. So I just put all my energy and effort into basketball until one day I was about 17 years old. I came across Eric Thomas, a motivational speaker. If you guys don't know, he changed my life. Because from one video to the next, I started consuming more and more of the positivity, more and more of the energy, started applying what he was saying to my life. And just from me consuming the positive stuff and the positive energy and the love that he was giving in that camera, it literally dramatically changed my life, and it dramatically changed my mindset. I'll definitely one day share my whole testimony with you guys. But it's gotten to a point where people will still hit me up to this day in my DMs like, yo, you changed so much. Like, who are you? You're not the guy that I knew when you were like 18, 19, even 20. But to wrap this thing up, man, I really am challenging you guys. If you're listening to this, I don't care where you're listening to this. If you're on YouTube, Instagram, if you're on, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you're at, I'm challenging you guys to look at what you're consuming. Look at what's distracting you. And I want you guys to change at least one of them. Change at least one of those things that's distracting you and replace it with something that's positive for your life. And it may be the music that you're listening to. Like I said earlier, I've listened to a whole lot of garbage in my lifetime, and I had to literally take time and strip all that away and replace it with something positive. Plug in something positive into my life and start feeding my mind and have my ears consuming positivity. Maybe it's the TV shows or channel that you're watching. Maybe it's the news outlet. You guys already know how I feel about the news. But watching it over and over, it can become real repetitive and real negative. Maybe you need to turn that off and put something else on. Put on an Eric Thomas. Put on a Beautiful Struggle podcast video. Maybe it's somebody in your family. Unfortunately, a lot of us have these people in our family where they're just constantly speaking negativity on your life and speaking death into you. And honestly, you got to tell them kick rocks. You got to tell them to bounce, at least for the time being. Get them out your life. Cut them off. do what you have to do and replace that with something positive. Replace it with a mentor that's going to feed into you, that's going to give you that positivity that you need. Surround yourself with people that are going to help you grow. Excuse me. And this for some people, it may sound real far-fetched, but it's really not. Once you make that decision that you want to start feeding yourself and you want to start consuming the right things, and whatever that may be, it could be positivity, it can be whatever it is that you want. Start consuming the things that you want and the things that's going to help you grow in your life. And I'm telling you, things are going to click, things are going to happen for you like they never happened before. And like I said, I just want to wrap this thing up with that. Whatever you consume, whatever you feed yourself, whatever you're intaking is what you will become. If you intake junk, you will become junk. If you intake phenomenal energy and vibes, that's what you're going to give out to the world. It's just, man, look, what you intake is what you become. All right. I'll leave you guys with that. If you guys have any questions about, like, maybe what you're intaking and you should stop, but you don't know what you should replace it with, or who you should replace it with, or what you should replace it with, send me a DM. I've been through this. All the advice that I'm giving you guys is stuff that I've been through and that I've applied myself and I've done myself. So shoot me a DM on Instagram at Beautiful Struggle Podcast, my personal Instagram account. Hit me up wherever if you need to. Let's talk. Let's get better. And it's your boy Chris, and I'll catch y'all next week.